So you want to lucid dream, but for some reason it's just not happening. Why? Well, in today's video you're going to learn 5 reasons why you're not lucid dreaming. On paper, lucid dreaming sounds easy. You just become aware within your dreams. But the reality is you're exploring the insane complexity of the human mind. There are just so many variables, so many things that can go wrong. So if you're making one of these 5 lucid dreaming mistakes, if you fix them, lucid dreaming should become much, much easier. Number 1, not getting enough sleep. This is by far the most common reason that people struggle with lucid dreams. So if you're the kind of person who stays up ridiculously late or gets up very, very early and doesn't have the recommended 8 hours sleep a night, then you're definitely going to struggle with lucid dreams. Lucid dreams occur at a stage of sleep called REM, rapid eye movement. Now there are 5 stages of REM in an 8-hour period of sleep, but the important thing for lucid dreamers to note is the longest and the most productive for lucid dreams is the final period of REM. So if you're going to bed really late or waking up really early, you're missing the most important period of REM for lucid dreaming. So how do you fix it? Well, it's pretty easy. You either go to bed earlier or stay in bed for longer. Just make sure you're getting those full 8 hours of sleep. Number 2, stress and anxiety. Now, in our modern world, it's really easy to get stressed out, anxious, and overwhelmed with what's going on in our lives. But the problem is, dreams are functional. They're required to process our concerns from our daytime hours. So if you're stressed, anxious, or incredibly busy, your dreams are going to have a lot of work to do. And if your dreams have a lot of work to do, there's very little space for lucid dreams to occur. This one's a little bit harder to fix because there are so many reasons you might feel stressed or anxious or busy. But there are some reasons why you feel that way, which aren't even necessary at all. One thing I'd strongly recommend is to avoid social media and the news, because oftentimes we're worried and stressed about things that we have no control over, that we can do nothing about. When you bombard your brain with unnecessary information from places like social media and the news, things you can do nothing about but make you feel anxious or stressed, what you're doing is setting a problem for the brain that it's going to try to use dreams to fix. And if you're doing that, you're basically overwhelming the brain with a whole bunch of issues, leaving no space for lucid dreams. So the next time you reach for your phone to scroll through social media or to look at the news, don't. Stop, take a deep breath, relax and enjoy the thoughts in your head. Just learn to have a quiet, relaxed mind. Number 3, you're trying too hard. This is incredibly common and you've probably already experienced this. You put in a bunch of work for lucid dreaming, then you give up because nothing's happening, and then after you've given up, suddenly you have a lucid dream. Why would that happen? Well, the balance for lucidity isn't as proactive as you might think. It's actually a very passive and casual practice. You're not trying to force your way into lucid dreams, you're trying to learn to balance the tightrope of the mind. Here's a way to look at things. Imagine you're putting on a party and the goal is to have a lot of fun. You put in a fair amount of work to set things up, making sure that everything's in place for when the party arrives, and when the party happens, you relax and enjoy yourself. You let it happen naturally. Imagine if that wasn't what you were doing. If you put in a whole bunch of work to set up the party, and then as the party was happening, you were stressing out, running around, trying to keep things all in order, you'd never have any fun. Lucid dreams are exactly like trying to have fun at a party. You do your preparation and then you relax. And there's a really easy way to know whether you're doing this. If, when you're doing your lucid dreaming techniques at night, you're getting insomnia, then you're trying too hard. You simply need to relax, trust the process, trust the work you've put in advance, and let nature do its thing. Number 4, you're following misinformation. Now, this is by far the biggest, most insidious problem of lucid dreaming altogether. Even here on YouTube, you will find far more misinformation than you will find legitimate lucid dreaming content. And if you're following the wrong recipe, you're not going to get the results you need. But sadly, the majority of information about lucid dreaming out there in the world is overhyped, exaggerated, oversimplified, and frankly, a little bit stupid. So if you find yourself mindlessly repeating a silly mantra or wiggling your fingers without really understanding why you're doing it, or something that seems far too simple to really work, if it seems a bit like magic, it's probably nonsense. And a good way to fix this problem is to ask yourself a simple question. Who am I learning from? Is the person I've got this information from a qualified, experienced teacher with years of knowledge in this subject, or are they a random member of the public who has just set up a YouTube channel that they're recording on their phone? It's a bit of advice which is useful everywhere in life. Make sure you trust the source. Make sure your teacher has a reason to teach in the first place. Make sure you can trust who you're listening to. Number 5, you've got a terrible diet. Now I know nobody wants to hear this because the nice yummy things taste nice and we all want to shove them in our mouths. Who doesn't? But the problem is, if you're just drinking fizzy soda and you're eating nothing but fries and burgers and you're generally being really unhealthy, it's going to affect your body. And remember, your brain is a part of your body. Thoughts don't come out of thin air, they come from your brain. And if you're feeding your brain the wrong fuel, it's not going to function correctly. So I'm not a nutritionist, so it's not my place to tell you what to eat, but I would strongly recommend that you look at what you're eating and do some research into a healthy, balanced diet. It will do wonders for your lucid dreams. You are what you eat, but you also are what you think. So the diet for your mind is just as important for lucid dream training. And if you want a good diet of lucid dreaming content, watch one of the videos on the screen right now and subscribe while you're here. I'll see you later.